Hello everyone again, and welcome back to the Art of Attraction with Dominey Drew. Thrilled to see you again this week. Hear you, not hear you. Thrilled for you to hear me. You know how that goes. So welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. I've got a great show for you tonight. And I really want to say thank you to all listeners. I really want to say thank you to the people who are contributing, who are writing to me on Facebook, who are reaching out online and sending me messages, sending me questions, sending me feedback. I really appreciate it. It's very, very useful for me. And also, as I've said before, I really want this to be a resource for you. I want to answer your questions. So if you have things that you are, curious about, or that you have issues that you're dealing with, please don't hesitate to reach out. And there's a number of ways that you can do that. My name is Dominey Drew, and I can be found at Dominey Drew Coaching on Facebook. I also have a website at which is domineydrew.com. I can be found also on Instagram and Twitter at Dominey Drew, and that's Dominey and Drew. So please feel free to reach out, send me your questions, comments, feedback. I'm always happy to interact. If you would like to call in during the show, you're more than welcome to do that. The number you can reach me at is 708-793-7769. And again, that's 708-793-7769. So please feel free to join me to give a call in. I have people who are struggling with particular relationship issues. They want specific questions answered, and I'm always happy to do that, and that's what I'm here for. So by all means, use me as a resource. So again, my name is Dominey. I'm a men's relationship coach. I help single men attract life partners through personal and relationship coaching. And the levels that I work on primarily are sort of in the psycho-spiritual realm for the most part. Sometimes I'll do things like dating tips, things to watch out for, ways to meet more women or men, whatever your preference is. Ways to meet more people, ways to interact more clearly, how to break up, things like that. And today I'm going to be entering that realm a bit more because I've been getting a lot of questions lately about how to present yourself, okay, as attractive to a partner, okay. I speak with men all day long, my clients who have all these questions, and so often I will draw from that and really take a wider view and a wider approach, and really help a lot of different people to by answering certain questions. So I really like to draw from those questions, and usually when I do that, a lot of people tend to resonate. It's something that they're not just this client is struggling with, but that a lot of people are. So today I want to look into how to present yourself to attract a partner. And as I said, this is a little bit more practical work that I'm working on today. I don't like the word advice. I just avoided using the word advice. I tend in general not to advise a whole lot. The levels that I work on are really quite a bit deeper, and so what I tend to do is just ask questions, and what I do by doing that is I invite you into a deeper awareness of your situation, okay? So the reason why I do this work is I have this gift, really. I've also trained for 15 years in this field, but really I have a sort of natural tendency to see how people are holding themselves back from what they want, those subtle forms of self-sabotage. And so what I do is I can identify them, and I identify how you're holding yourself back from what you want, and we address it right there, in the course that I teach. So it's been really it's a really powerful process. While I do go somewhat into the practical, what to wear, how to present yourself, things to say or not say, for the most part, that's not really what attraction is about, which is why I tend to avoid it, okay? So if you're single and you don't know why you're not attracting a partner, it's probably not because you have the wrong haircut. That's not what a woman or a person is looking for in another person. They're not just like, oh, I really want somebody with this particular haircut, okay? Just about everybody's wish list, if you write it all out, just about nobody has a certain kind of haircut that they really want to go with. But it can look that way, right? This is the whole point. So you're single, let's say you're doing everything right, and you're still not getting the results that you want, right? So what tends to happen is you start looking for reasons, right? And you use your brain because your brain is great, and your brain really tells you, you know, lots of things. Well, your brain kind of tells you most everything, but it's really, it's taking a logical approach will tend not to work. Okay, you'll start looking for reasons. You'll start looking for it's my haircut, it's my clothes, it's the way I shave my beard or I don't shave my beard, and all these sorts of things. And that's just, it's not that one thing. Okay, I'm gonna say 9 times out of 10, but really it's actually just probably 10 times out of 10. You're really, there's something underneath the surface, okay? Something in your unconscious that's holding you back from what you want, okay? So when you're dealing with the unconscious is a lot more powerful, okay, than the conscious mind, all right? It's a lot more, instinct based, intuition based. It's deeper, okay? It will always win. The unconscious will always fucking win. So if there's a conflict between what you think you want, but what your unconscious really wants, your unconscious will win out every single time. Okay? So that's why I work in the area of the unconscious. Okay? Because that's where the magic happens. It's not about the haircut. I mean, I shouldn't use that as an example because I'm going to talk about haircuts today, but really I wanted to sort of come from this place that, that might be a thing and you may want to change your haircut. But what's important is that you don't like your haircut, right? If you, I think maybe should dress better, I need a better job, or think because women want this and this. Well, not all women want any one thing whatsoever. Every woman does not want the same anything whatsoever. There's just too many. There are too many women, okay? So working on this sort of assumption, right, of like, oh, women, they want money. They want men with money. Some women do. Yeah, of course. Does every single woman want a man with money? I don't think so. Have you asked them all? Because until you ask them all, you're just making shit up, basically. You're trying to find a reason that you're single that isn't about you, really. And the fact of the matter is, it is about you. Whether you're single or not, no matter what problem you're struggling with in your life, it is about you. We find these underlying patterns that last for, years, lifetimes, but years, right? So people struggle with this their entire life. And they go, and I don't know why. It's because of, women. I've always struggled with dating and for my entire life, and it's because women, fill in blank, whatever. Okay. So my next question is, what is the underlying common denominator for all of those past experiences of that negative pattern? Okay, what's the common denominator? What do all of those things have in common? Right? You are the common denominator of every negative experience in your entire life and every positive experience in your entire life. It's all about you. Okay, luck doesn't last that long. And don't get me started on luck, but it's kind of not really a thing. It's certainly not as much of a thing as people make it out to be. Okay? So what's important here is that you're becoming self-aware. Okay, and that's what we're really going to discuss today. This is really about becoming aware of your inner desires and your inner negative intent, your inner self-sabotage. Okay? Because I swear to God, I've done this for 15 years. If you can discover in the areas in which you are self-sabotaging, the world is your goddamn oyster. It absolutely is. Okay? So there is nothing that can stop you other than you. And I'm in the business of helping you stop stopping yourself. That may not be a new tagline for the business. I may have to rethink that one. But that really is what it's about. It's about, ending the self-sabotage so you can free and clear go for what it is that you want in life, right? All right, so let's get started. So today I want to talk about how to present yourself to attract a partner. So I touched on this just a second ago, but I have a lot of clients come in and say, okay, well, what, I picked the haircut thing because I had a client today say that he thought that his hair was too long. You know, his friends had told him that their hair was too long. And that's the other thing, is that, you know, when you tend to struggle, you tend to turn to your friends, right, for advice. So if you're like, you know, I'm still single and I don't know why, and I'm really struggling, and your friends will tell you why you're still single. And I'm sure your friends are wonderful people, but they're clueless. They have no idea. You get advice from people, and it just perpetuates. You know, they're just drawing from their life experience, which is not yours, and is not necessarily the same as yours. And they're also drawing from a lot of really harmful, like cultural norms, right, and social beliefs. Okay, so let's say you have, you know, women want money. Okay, it's like you don't have a job and you're single and you don't know why, and you go to your friends and your friends say, well, it's because you don't have a job. You have to have a job to date a woman. Is that true? Does every man in the planet who's in a relationship have a job, make lots of money, cut their hair? So it's really easy to get sort of pulled into these sort of solutions, and of course they're trying to help. You know, you're their friend and you're lonely and you're in a relationship, and they, you know, I get it. But, you know, you're sort of clawing for answers. You're I can't think of the word I'm trying to say. You're like, you know, splashing around, like desperately trying to come up with something that will solve your problem. And the fact of the matter is there's nothing outside of you that's keeping you single, really. There just isn't. So when we talk about how to present ourselves, so why am I not contradicting myself? So how to present yourself is important, okay? It is. And it is objectively important, but not in the ways people tend to think, okay? So let's say, you know, you're a, I don't know, late 20s guy, and you wear a lot of flannel, and you're kind of like a casual dude, and you're a little bit like that, maybe like sort of a, you know, frat boy type of feel or something like that, okay? And you sort of think, oh, maybe I should like dress better to attract a woman. Well, a couple of things with that. One is, if you're changing your clothes to attract a certain person, you will attract a different person than the type of person who wants someone who wears the clothes you actually wear. Let me state that in a far less confusing way. If you're a flannel-wearing dude, you are authentically a flannel-wearing dude. Lots of dudes are. That's great. Good for you. You're comfortable. You know yourself. That's who you are. You're confident in those clothes. If you're confident in those clothes. We're going to come back to this. Okay. So if you're a flannel-wearing type of guy, and you're looking for a flannel-wearing type of woman, then you dressing in slacks and a button-down shirt does not serve you. Does that make sense? Because you're going to, you know, best case scenario, first of all, you're not going to be comfortable in the button-down shirt and pants, okay? Which is, again, does not mean that you don't necessarily need to clean up your act in certain situations. You might. But I'm just assuming that this is a situation in which you're a flannel-wearing guy, and that is authentically who you are. That truly expressing. You're not like, you know, just sort of lazy or not caring, right? That is genuinely, you've thought about it and you go, you know what, this is what I want to wear, this represents me, this is who I am. Great. So then what you're looking for is a woman who is attracted to a flannel-wearing man, because that's who you authentically are. So if you change your clothes, then first of all, you will not be comfortable, and that communicates a lot. A lot. If you're pretending to be someone else, that communicates a lot. People feel that. Women feel that. Right? So if you are, you know, if you're trying to be someone you think women want, that's where everyone slips up. That's the problem. Okay? You're trying to make yourself into someone you think that you should be, and if you've heard my show before, you know my thoughts on shoulding. Stop shoulding on yourself. Stop shoulding on your friends. Stop shoulding on the rest of society. Keep your shoulds to yourself. And don't even keep them to yourself. Just get rid of them entirely. They are meaningless and irrelevant and highly, highly psychologically damaging. Okay? Most significantly, they're irrelevant. It doesn't matter. They're not real. Okay? There is no, you know, we walk around with this picture in our mind of what women want. First of all, who decided what women want? How the hell do you know? I don't know what I want half the damn time. So don't you come in and tell me that I want someone who's, well dressed or not well dressed. It's like, have I even had that thought? I don't even know. Okay? So there is no across the board, this is what women want, generally. Okay? Which is not to say that, like, you can act in any way you can, like, you need to be respectful and you need to respect boundaries, and there's basic, human. I'm talking about trying to become someone else for the purpose of attracting a partner. Okay? As you can see, that starts putting you on the wrong track. Okay? If you're a flannel-wearing guy wearing a suit will, A, not attract anyone. It will not attract anyone, most likely. Like, what do I say? 80 to 90% chance that you'll actually have less luck than you did before. And then if you do have luck, then again you're attracting the wrong woman for you. Okay. So, okay, so let's come back to this. So let's back up a little bit and let's look at what attraction actually is in general. Okay. Attraction is like, let's be real literal here. We say attraction and we're talking about sexual attraction and romantic attraction and things like that. Attraction actually is just a magnetic sensation. Okay, you are drawn, you are attracted, you are literally drawn to a thing. Okay, so I have a lot of relationships with people where I'm very attracted to them and it's not sexual at all, but the attraction is very strong. Like, I feel strongly about that person, but I have no desire to have sex with that person. Okay, so attraction itself, if you isolate it, is not necessarily aligned with sex or romance. So attraction itself, it's a magnetism, and this magnetism comes from within. Okay? It is radiated out. Okay? What it is that's radiated out is that confidence, right? Self-love. Being in love with yourself, being attracted to yourself. Those are the things that attract people. And they will attract everyone. Lovers, business partners, investors, family members. When you address these deeper levels, okay, these deeper levels of self-sabotage, then you shift inside, and the blocks that are kind of holding in your light, in a way, start to come down. And the more the blocks come down, the blocks of the self-sabotage, the more the blocks come down, the more radiant you are, right? It tends to be the way, when someone's attracted to me, somebody just said this, it was the kindest thing last weekend, we were, I don't know, somewhere, and kind of dancing around, and someone just said, you are radiant, and I could feel the attraction from this person. And the reason is because I've done so much of this work myself that I've dismantled all my blocks. Not all, that's not true. Still got more. But, like, enough of it that I'm a whole different person than when I began. Really. Okay? So there's a huge amount of shift that can take place. This is not just theoretical. It's not just spiritual, quote unquote, in a way that doesn't reach the physical. It is spiritual, but it's in a way that's tangible, because what really needs to happen for spirituality to exist and thrive and deepen is to connect the spiritual with the physical. Okay, it's not just one or the other, So, so when you're trying to, so when you're trying to work on attraction and things that you think other people want to see, it's really, this is why it's all inside. It's all inside because as you take those pieces down, the self-judgment, the self-hatred, we've all got it. We've all got it. Okay, there are just some things that, being a human comes with, and this is one of them. Okay, self-judgment, rejection of self, things like that. And as you start to address those things, you start to love yourself more. I mean, I went through a very profound process where I fell in love with myself. I got into a relationship with myself, and it was very much like a romantic relationship. And there was issues, and I was against myself sometimes. It was like there were two people, But then gradually I started just to kind of connect the pieces and take down those blocks and risk being vulnerable and, risk looking at those parts of myself that I found that I thought would likely be, hideous or unlovable or would be rejected by society. I was rejecting them first. So as that happened, I became more whole. This is the wholeness that people talk about when they talk about the spiritual world, okay? And people use that word wholeness, and it's kind of sometimes like you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? I have no idea what you mean. That's what that actually means, okay? You're finding those areas in which you're against yourself, in which there are areas which are, what they actually are sort of traumas that have been kind of frozen in your energy field, but then also actually in your physical body. But that's, I don't want to rabbit trail too much here. But that's really that's the wholeness that they're of which they're speaking when the spiritual world talks about wholeness. So this is really a process of that, and that's honestly why I love to work with attraction, because attraction, this just lights me up. I get so excited. Attraction is always 100% authentic. Okay, you can't pretend it's not there when it is, and you can't pretend it is there when it's not. Okay, so it's always authentic. It's always just what it is and nothing else. And the cool thing about that is that you can look at it and you know exactly what you're dealing with. You know how people talk about dogs or animals and how authentic they are. Like if you are having a bad day or you're angry or whatever, and you're with a horse, if the horse is like loose in a field, and they're like over there visiting, if you shift in a certain way, the horse will just like leave. I'll just pick up and leave. Okay, I don't want to be around this. And it's completely authentic. It's not faked. And so that's why, attraction is so valuable, because it really is that authentic. So back to what attraction is. So attraction is this magnetism, okay? It radiates from within, and it's juicy and it's sexy and it's rich, right? There's a depth to it, a richness, juiciness to it, that is really powerful. And as you can see, just totally does it for me. So more than that about attraction. Okay, so some of it is physical, sure, but for the most part it's not. Similarly to how only 7% of communication is verbal, it's sort of the generally accepted amount, is actually words. 7% of communication is actually consists of the actual words. And then the rest of it is, excuse me. Then the rest of it is body language and tonality. Okay, the tone of your voice and how you move your body communicates a huge amount more than the words you're putting in, right? So the same thing. Are there some physical things you can do? Absolutely, and we're going to talk about that. Okay. And that's great. Really, what that's going to be about is about making you more comfortable and confident. Okay, to get back to that 93%, which is radiating outward from yourself. Okay, so again, similarly to the communication, most of attraction is going to be energetic and psychological, and then some of it will be physical. Okay. So most of attraction is what you're putting out, not what you're putting on. Okay? But you can use what you're putting on as an exercise. So we'll start there. Let's go with dress. The most important thing about how to dress to attract a woman is that you're doing it in a way that's authentic for you. Okay? You need to wear the kind of clothes that you feel sexy and good in. All right? A lot of people don't ever do that. They wear what they think they should wear. They wear what they, think that they look, they look good in, or that they, somebody gave me this thing, and so I feel like I need to wear it. Shit like that. It's the most ridiculous thing. So here's an exercise. This was actually a remarkably powerful exercise for me in my transformation. And one of the reasons why I look and feel completely differently than I did before I started this work is because I started dressing in a way that I like. Okay? And that shifted people's reactions to me a lot. Okay? So one kind of clothing is not better than another. Women objectively don't prefer one thing over another. However, right, because it depends on the woman. However, do self-work and find your style. Okay? What attracts is that magnetism, and then that's formed by confidence and self-love, like we just talked about it, right? So this exercise. So go through your closet, and I mean your entire closet. Doesn't need to take long. Go through everything that you own, piece by piece. Okay? Consider each piece. Consider that shirt. Consider that jacket, those shoes, those jeans. And as you consider, ask yourself, does this piece of clothing light me up? Okay? Am I excited to wear it? I can't wait to wear this. So excited. Do you love it? Okay? Does it represent who you want to be? Or are there other reasons that you're keeping it, right? The guilt, the shoulds, or the logic. Guilt, shoulds, and logic, man. It's like the 3 horsemen of the apocalypse. I made it 3 because I can only think of 3 things. Anyway, some number of horses and some level of apocalypticness. Apocalyptivity. This is what happens when I don't have a guest on the show. So guilt, shoulds, and logic, right? So do this with all of your clothing, okay? This will be such an eye-opening experience for you. It's so unbelievable. It sounds like such an incredibly simple thing, but it is so revolutionary. It's really quite remarkable. So go through what you own piece by piece, okay? Consider each piece, ask these sorts of things. Do this with all of your clothing, everything that you own, and divide it as you go into 2 piles, okay? The things that light you up and the things that don't. Don't make it more complicated than this. It's really important. Do you feel naturally lit up by this piece of clothing? Do you feel brightened by it? Are you excited to wear it? Or is your first reaction a thought, oh, mom gave me that? So if you're wearing a piece of clothing that you're wearing because your mom gave you, that will put out a certain energy, okay? Because you feel a certain way about it. You're wearing it because you should wear it because you love your mom. You can love your mom and not wear that shirt. That's totally fine. Goodwill that shit. I give so much shit to Goodwill. I seriously, I think I keep several of them stocked, just alone. So don't be shy about it. And then go out and find clothing that lights you up. And don't buy a single piece of clothing that does not light you up. And see the difference that it makes. Because truly, you start wearing things that make you go, oh, hello. Yeah, you still love mom. It's great. All of a sudden you're seeing yourself go, oh, God, my ass looks great in these. Wow. You walk around with that puts out a certain energy. Which one do you think is going to attract more people? Okay? This is about being attracted to yourself. This is about wearing the shit that lights you up. And that's important. Okay? So going through your entire thing, and honestly, look at those 2 piles, okay? The one that lights you up and the one that doesn't, and you will probably be amazed at least the equivalent size of them, and possibly a lot less. I mean, I didn't do this all in one thing where I got rid of my entire wardrobe, but I did this over a period of time, and it was incredible. It was like I had maybe 5 or 6 pieces of items of clothing that I love, couldn't wait to wear. And the rest of it was just sort of like, there were other reasons. Really good, logical, smart reasons. And the fact of the matter is, that's irrelevant. It is. You're wearing somebody else's clothing. Give it to Goodwill. Let someone else wear it. Go find clothing that lights you up. So now, I will buy absolutely nothing, not one thing, that does not absolutely rock my world. I just won't even do it. And it's been incredibly, incredibly powerful. When you love the way you look, you are different in the world. So know that, let her, find out what it is that rocks your world, what excites you. And so part of that is also going to be, so what you're going to find as you keep doing this is you're going to see your style emerge, your authentic style, okay? And this may be, even if you sort of know who you are in this area and you're comfortable with the clothes you wear, it may be different now than it was 2 years ago, or a year ago, or a week ago, You might be ready for a new phase. That's the kind of thing that holds you back, okay? So when you're telling yourself you can't do something, like subconsciously that's what's happening, right? That shirt does not light you up, but you're wearing it because you should wear it, because your mom gave it to you, or whatever. So then you're saying no to yourself. What your self just told you is that this does not represent me. I'm not interested. It doesn't light me up. That is completely authentic. If something lights you up with no effort whatsoever, that is your inner guidance system. That is sacred information. Okay, that tells you a lot. You can do a lot with that. So, get to the point where you can start to recognize what lights you up and what doesn't. Okay. What is it? What is it that that represents you today? What does your body want to wear today? Okay, figure it out. Do it. All right. Just try it. Try it for a week. See what you think. You don't have to get rid of the clothes right away. You can put the ones that don't light you up in a bag in your closet and, leave them there and see if you miss them. You probably won't. You'll probably forget that you own them, actually. So that's a really great exercise. Really, really, really sacred exercise. Okay, huge amount of self-awareness can be done just in this very simple thing. It's really quite extraordinary. So try that. So then try wearing and buying exclusively things that you cannot wait to wear. Okay, and notice what that does for your confidence and your self-image. Okay, it's really powerful stuff. So, and clothing can also, I just want to say as well, clothing can also really be clothing represents how you show up in the world. Okay, and how you show up in the world is what attracts or does not attract another person. Okay, so I'm attracted very much to men who dress well. Okay, who dress in sort of a stylish way, or a bit sort of formal, right? And I like that. That works for me. And again, it's not about sort of formal is better than casual. This is just me personally. I know a lot of people who really don't like that because they feel that it's it's pretentious or it's overly formal or it makes them uncomfortable or whatever. So, so for me, when I see a man who's well dressed, it shows me that he's putting effort into how the world is seeing him. Okay, he's self-aware. To me, that indicates self-awareness. It doesn't, of course. That's just the connection that's made in my brain. But for me, that sort of says, oh, I care how I present myself. Okay, some women don't like men who care how they present themselves. Seriously, that's not exactly, there are people out there for everyone. That's why one thing is not better than another. Otherwise, there would be one right way of doing things, and everyone would know it, and we wouldn't be here. So the clothing is really about how you present yourself to the world and how you feel. Okay, wear clothes that make you feel fucking amazing. Wear exclusively clothes that make you feel fucking amazing. Okay? Every piece of clothing you put on or that you own should feel incredible. It should feel great. If it's not, it's dead weight and it's got to go. Okay? I can't tell you the depth to which this affects your energy field. It's really quite remarkable. Okay? So let's go on to haircuts. So it's the same thing. There is no one haircut that makes you more attractive to a woman than any other haircut. That's just not a thing, okay? Some people want long, shaggy, rocker type of haircut. Some people want, buzzed military type of haircut. Some people want, clipped, I don't know, regular male long on top, short on the sides type of thing. Um, some people like rocking the man bun. I like the man bun. I won't lie. And so really, so it's really just about what you feel good in. Okay. So there's finding what represents you, and then there's upping your game. Okay. If you do absolutely nothing with your hair because you can't be bothered, that is the energy you will put out. Okay? If you have long hair because you feel like it makes you feel like a fucking rocker, and that's rad and that's sexy for you, great. That's a whole different thing. Same haircut, two totally different energies. Does that make sense? Like um, you could let it grow out. You could buzz it because you don't want to have the effort. Your hair may not matter to you. It's not about that. It's about what is it that represents you the most. If it doesn't matter to you and you'd rather just buzz it because you want to focus, you're more interested in other things. Great, good for you. Do it. Okay. It's just about doing things consciously. It's just about the self-awareness. Okay. If you in a conscious and awake manner decide that you want to let your hair go and not do anything with it because that's how you feel best, great. That will put out the same confidence and energy as someone who styles their hair really intentionally because it makes them feel sexy. Either way, it makes you feel sexy, and that's what's communicated. Remember, 93%. Okay. It's not about what haircut you have, it's about how you have your haircut. Oh, I like that. Yeah, I have to remember that one. So, so how you have your haircut, right? It's not the clothes you wear, it's how you wear them. It's how you feel about wearing them. Feelings are what communicate, okay? Energy is what communicates. That's what we're dealing with here. So, huge shifts, right? It's a whole different thing. So with haircut, same thing. Most important thing is that you want to think about how do you want to represent yourself. Okay? Who are you in this moment? Who do you want to be? Do you like how your hair is? Have you thought about how your hair is? Does it matter to you? Maybe not. It's fine. It doesn't need to matter. Women don't prefer men whose hair matters over men whose hair does not matter to them. That's irrelevant. You got to be really aware of falling into that should trap of like, oh, but women want. Nope. Stop. Don't blame women for your for your lack of um, of success. Right. This is about you. You find those ways to love yourself, to be attracted to yourself, to really engage with yourself. They will be falling at your feet. That's how it works. Nothing more attractive. It's nothing more attractive. Okay? So, and then the other thing is, as once you you get that, sort of how you are with this particular thing, haircut, let's say, and how you want to represent yourself, then you can think about it from the other side. What do you want her to see? Right? How do you see yourself, but also, what do you want her to see you as? How do you want to be seen? Okay? But mostly it just comes back down to what haircut makes you most attracted to yourself. Okay? The haircut that makes you, so attracted to yourself that you get to catch glimpses of yourself in passing windows on your way to work, that's the right one. Okay? That one that makes you so excited and so, whatever. And so this and clothes and dress and stance and all these things, they're about finding out what works for you. Okay? They're about finding out who you are and expressing that. Then, okay, let's come back to the guy who wears flannel and is dressing in a business suit so that he can attract a woman, right? When you're at that place, you're coming at it you're radiating out. That's when you're most authentic. And then the women who are attracted to you from that place are already resonant with you. They're already attracted to the real you. That's why it's important. That's why it's not about trying to be someone who you're not. okay? It's about attracting a life partner with, without trying to be someone who you're not, by being authentic. Because then you're actually attracting someone who likes the real you. Because you're risking the real you. You're risking showing people the real you. And if you don't do that, then people don't know what to be attracted to, in a way. I mean, obviously that's not a conscious thought, like, I'm not sure what to be attracted to. But they won't get a clear draw, that clear magnetism of like, oh my God, I don't even know this person, but I have to be around them. I'm so drawn to them. I don't know what to do. It's so exciting, right? I've had that. I met someone like that just a few weeks ago. We never even met. We met like one night, and then we, chatted on Facebook or whatever, and there was just this magnetism. It was just drawn. It's kind of flirtatious, but sexual is be a strong word. It was just attraction, magnetism, right? It's being drawn in. And that's incredibly powerful. And that's what people are lacking when they're looking for a relationship and they're not finding it. Okay, they're lacking that magnetism. So it's a really important thing. Okay. So yeah, find the haircut that represents you. Find the one that that you feel expresses you the best and makes you attracted to yourself. That's what it's always coming back to. Okay. So those questions are, again, just so that you have them again, is the most important thing to think about is, how do you want to represent yourself? What do you want her to see? How do you see yourself? And what makes you attracted to yourself? Okay? If you're attracted to you, everyone else will be too. Okay? Another question that came up with sort of this kind of a objective or more practical side of things was is having a job. Okay? One of my clients said, oh, I can't get a girlfriend because I don't have a job. Okay? So does every man who's in a happy relationship have a job? Every single one? Have you asked them all? So again, we make these assumptions, right? We make these sort of wide generalizations about what women want and what you should be like. It's like, well, you should be successful. Well, not everybody is successful financially, by the way. That's just a very limited, even definition of that word. But that's how people tend to use it. Okay, well, it's like, I don't have a job and I'm not really sure what I'm doing with my life. And it's like, well, that's okay. Can you be in love with yourself in that place? Can you love yourself where you are? Because if you can't, what makes you think she can? Seems a lot to ask, doesn't it? Well, I hate myself, but you should definitely love me. Why? What's worth loving if you don't show me what's worth loving, if you don't think anything is worth loving? Okay? So this is really about, again, your relationship with yourself. And, we've done that before. We've had an episode before called, The Art of Being Alone, which really talked about this. It's like, okay, well, how to get your shit together, right? How to get your shit together. I'll post the number again, so we have somebody who's calling in. The number, if you want to call in, is 708-793-7769. 708-793-7769. You're welcome to call anytime. So, so really, the self-love piece is really it's huge. That's what people are attracted to, is your relationship with yourself, your confidence, your there's a lot of strength that comes out in that, a lot of joy, a lot of radiance, and the magnetism, which is really it's very, very powerful. Okay, so as you're looking at objective things, and job is one of those things that's included. Then look at how they make you feel. Okay, if you're the type of person who feels that a job's important, then it is for you. All right, so we've got a call coming in, so I'll go ahead and answer that now. Hi there, can you hear me okay? Hey there, can you hear me okay? Whoops, we're having a little sound issue. Give me just a second here. No. All right, that one got lost. I'm sorry about that. You can try again. It does tend to take a little bit of skill um, getting the Skype to work for the calls. But this is great. I appreciate you calling in. Please feel free to do so. Again, you guys still hear me okay? I think I may have fixed it. Hopefully I fixed it. And if not, you're welcome to post your question on Facebook, and I can address it right there. So, so the job thing is really, and that's a big one as well. Oh, we got a call coming in. Let's try again. Okay. Hi there. Hi, darling. How are you? Awesome. Welcome, Frank. Thanks so much for calling in. I think we're okay. I'm not hearing any echo on my end. Are you? Yes. Hmm.
Someone who I was not really attracted to. I mean,
I'm sorry,
or,
Frank.
or
I think I
attracting.
lost the first part of your story. Can you start again? You said you went to an event a while ago and you wore a tuxedo and it made you feel really confident. Is that
Okay.
right?
Yeah. Well, it's just in general. Um, at times where I've felt that I've been radiating my real personality and I've been authentic,
Mm-hmm.
I've also felt that I was attracting people who I'm not completely attracted to.
Mm-hmm.
Like this was a middle-aged lesbian came up to me, and well, we had. I guess I was attracted at some level, but that wasn't what I was really looking for, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering, um, like, well, if you understood this or could relate to it at all.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. I'm glad that you brought that up. Thank you for that. It's true. You'll attract, and when you attract, you will be attractive to everyone, right? We're talking about attraction on a really fundamental, energetic level, and so you won't only attract people that you're attracted to. You'll attract everyone. The what tends to happen though, well, actually, let me ask you a question first. How did you react when you realized that you were attracting people that you didn't necessarily want to?
Well, I enjoyed speaking with people, and but as far as the physical portion, I'm not looking to attract gay men, my age, or middle-aged women at the time. And there were women there who I was attracted to, and not get such a great response from them. And I'm not really sure why. That's a puzzle I'm trying to piece together.
So the women that you were attracted to were not attracted back to you?
I suppose, I guess not. I felt my radiance dissipate around it. Like I felt a blocking, as you put it.
Yep.
Like I felt tense, and around a couple, and then around a couple of other people. Even though I felt good, it just seemed that they were occupied or were not interested.
Yeah.
Um,
So that brings up a really good point. I'm so glad that you said that. So what tends to happen is, even if you're feeling confident, you're feeling radiant, things tend to shift when you find someone you really want. Okay, so there's a couple of different things happening here, and I want to address all of them. One is this sort of phenomenon. So you could be, let's say, you're a very confident person, you're funny and you're quick and you're socially skilled, and you have all these, this sort of natural tendency to be kind of effervescent and confident. Even those people who have lots of social skills and find socializing being very easy, when they find someone that they're really attracted to, will often hit blocks, okay? Because the stakes just got raised. Now, all these issues come up. It's like, oh, I love myself, everything's great, and then you find someone you really want, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, shit, I mean,
can barely look at them, or the words don't come to my mouth.
right, right. And that's exactly that block that you're talking about. That's exactly that block. So there's something there. So then that got in the way. So this is a great teachable moment because you were wearing a tux, you felt great, you felt confident, you were attracting just about everyone, right? It sounds like kind of almost a universal thing. And then when you saw someone that you really wanted, something got in the way. That block came up, right?
Yeah.
And so that's where the work is to be done. Right in that space, okay? So you accomplished the task, and then you got to that radiant place, and then you kind of upped a level, right? All of a sudden it was like, oh wait, but I actually want to attract one that I want, and then that hit a different issue, okay? And that issue got in the way, and then the block was there. So that sounds like what was happening. Does that sound about right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was talking to a few people, then I noticed, what I considered fell of the ball, and they were, oh my gosh, like what do I say?
Right. And was that self-doubt that came up?
Was it self-doubt? I suppose there was an element that,
What was the feeling that happened? Can you think in your mind of one of these times that this happened when someone came up to you that you were really attracted to?
someone came up to me who I was very attracted to.
Yeah, that night that you were in the tux and you were feeling really good. Can you think of one time? You said it happened several times. Just pick one of those times that evening where someone came up and you felt attracted to that person.
Well, as if when I saw them, or if they came up to me, like
Yeah, no. As soon as you saw them and felt the attraction.
Well, there was her. There was an artist. There was like a male.
Okay.
And so who's that dude? And we started talking, and I just really got into hearing about his story, his artwork. And there was a woman on the dance floor, and who I asked for a dance, and we did. And I guess she had to teach me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So when you saw
that woman on crutches at the table next to me.
So when you saw that person, the artist, let's just use that as an example. When you felt the attraction, you saw him and you felt the attraction. What was, if you can slow down that moment, way, 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 way down. You see this person, you feel attraction, and then what happened? What was the thought? Do you know?
Who is this? I think.
Okay. And what was the next one?
Let me find out.
Okay, good. And then what?
I went and introduced myself. I think he might have been speaking with someone who brought me to the party. So a friend of, like a mutual friend of him.
Okay. And when did the when did the block come up?
Well, there was a block there. Because I don't think I was not sexually attracted to them, but it was certainly an attraction in, the pure sense of the word, magnetism.
Mm-hmm. But that one didn't make you shut down then. You weren't.
No. Because
experiencing the block then. Okay.
correct.
So the way to find it, and unfortunately we have to wrap up here in just a minute, but the way to find that is to go to one of those experiences that you had that evening, okay? And it sounds like that was not the one where you felt the block, okay? And right, that first moment when you went, oh, and then sort of like shut down or blocked yourself or however you experienced that in your body, and then slow that moment way, way, way down and find the words
Mhm.
that came up right before that block just slammed in, right?
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
what those words will be, those words will really will be the entire answer. It's right there. They'll happen sort of subconsciously, which is why you really need to slow things down. But if you examine it really moment by moment, you can find the exact sentence, the exact phrase that that hit you right before the block shut you down, and that
Right.
will provide a lot. Was there a moment that you felt that block go up that you can remember?
Um, I mean, I believe so, and I think it does. I think it does stem from self-doubt or lack of self-worth, rather. Um, like, why do it? Like, I don't deserve that. Something, or I could not attract someone I find that attractive. Like, that's not. So I don't have the exact words yet, but I do see that, starting to come together, or starting to see it more clearly.
Yeah. So, that phrase that you just said, I don't deserve that, was that what it was?
No, no, it was more like I can't, I can't, that would, like she wouldn't, like, I can't find the words.
Mm-hmm. That's okay.
At this time, but
Yeah.
it's
I would
like
just
making me sort of cringe up.
Yeah, right. Okay, so the cringing is the defense. Perfect. Great awareness. That's really, really good. So it's going to be something along the lines of what you're sort of dancing around it a little bit. I don't deserve this, or I couldn't attract that type of, and you're sort of just, so those may not quite be the right words, but it's basically one of those things. And the self-worth sense. This is why attraction is such a beautiful place to work. It's so authentic. So you feel the attraction, it's rich, it's beautiful, and then, boom, something comes in and shuts things down. Right?
Yeah.
So that's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's really brilliant. Um, you know, that's so the way through this for you is to just sit and find that phrase. The particular words are actually pretty relevant, and you seem like you're very self-aware already. You have a sense of what feels right and what doesn't. They will feel right. You will land on one thing and go, or tears will come. That's a sign that there's truth. Okay, that you've hit what's really true. And so finding that phrase and then just recognizing it in the moment. And those two exercises will take you very, very, very far in this particular issue. Find the phrase and then notice when it happens. I feel attract. Oh God. It's like, oh wow, look at, oh Jesus, no. And just sort of notice the shutdown. Notice when it happens. Notice when it doesn't happen. Is it mostly with men? Is it mostly with women? Is it only with certain kinds of people? And just sort of explore it and do it with a childlike curiosity. I wonder what this is about. This is interesting. It's tricky, of course, because it's a painful thing. But if you can sit with that, that's really where the value is. I think for you at this point.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. I've got some thinking to do on that, or some feeling, I guess,
Yeah.
more appropriate.
When in doubt, feeling overthinking. Absolutely. Thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate you sharing. That was really great.
Yeah, I look forward to listening to your next show.
Thanks so much for listening. Take care.
Bye.
So that was a really, really great example of how these kinds of things work, it's really about that place of um, seeing really objectively what's going on. Okay, what is it actually that's happening? Because that man Frank, he may have gone to this location and said, I dressed, I did everything Dominey said in her show. I dressed in a tux and I felt great and I was attracting people, and still the people I wanted didn't want me. And you can see how you can sort of bundle that all in one, but when you start to dissect it, well, that is what happened, but it's not for the reason you think. So that's interesting. Okay, so you were radiant, and then you saw someone you really wanted, and then bam, there come the self-worth issues. And then the self-worth issue kicks in, and then that's why the person wasn't attracted. So there's always different sort of layers and things going on, and it is incredibly valuable. I mean, I can't even tell you the amount of value that you can get out of just this sort of self-examination on this really kind of deep and intricate level. And so, unfortunately, that's really all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much for joining me this week. I had a really wonderful time with you. Thank you so much, Frank, for calling in. That was really great. And I will look forward to seeing you all next week. Best of luck, happy dating, and I'll speak with you soon. Take care.